Just when you thought this whole Benny moving in storyline was over, just when George finally swallowed his pride, decided to have a heart to heart conversation with his mom, and move back in for Max's sake, the show turns right around and gives us one of the crazier, most pettiest episodes ever.
Found this box of junk in the closet. You want me to throw it out?
Oh, slow down. There might be something important in here. Angie's special memories. Now it's just junk.
You see, in the last three videos that I've covered, Angie has basically treated George like he overreacted 1,000%. Like he was being immature. He wasn't being a grown up. He wasn't, there for family, the whole nine, right? And you guys already know because from the last three videos that I've done, Benny has basically disrespected George. Benny has belittled him. No one has taken George's side. George had to move out of his house, all because he did not have it in him to, put up with Benny once again. I mean, the guy already did it when he was young. Why is he going to do it again in the peace of his home? And instead of Angie, saying, hey, you know what? This is very difficult for you. I'm sorry. Let's figure something out for your mom. You are my husband. Let's work it together. She kind of just lets the whole situation happen. The whole fallout, I've already explained it over the last three episodes, but then this episode is going to show you the biggest hypocrisy ever. George is a hypocrite himself, but it looks like this just runs in the family.
Let me see that.
Come on, Angie, there's nothing in here worth keeping. Look, just a bunch of dead flowers.
That was my wedding bouquet.
And it's just as beautiful with coffee grounds on it.
All right, guys, before anything, thank you all so much for the support. This is the second video today, just mainly because I want to make sure you guys continue to tune in. Look, I feel like there's a wave right now that I gotta get on and ride and take advantage of because who knows when the next 5 minutes are gonna come. As always, thank you so much for the support. There is so much love that I have for you guys. Thank you for just literally clicking on the video and commenting. Let's get on with the video.
Believe this. I've been looking for these for years. These are the letters the priest asked us to write to each other as part of our premarital counseling.
So the episode starts off with George and Angie finding these old love letters that they were gonna do before premarital counseling. And with their anniversary coming up, they decide that it must be a good idea if they read it to each other again.
Open these on our 10th anniversary, but we couldn't find them. Why don't we open them this anniversary?
And to be honest, sounds kind of sweet until you realize that Angie is just trying to let George off the hook because he always forgets and he always forgets to get her a gift. And I'm not sure if she does the whole thing, only the husband gets a gift. I don't have to get him anything, but it kind of sounds like it. Also, George is dyslexic. I don't think he means to be forgetful. I think he just messes up.
2 days.
3 days.
Oh! That's no fair. I had it.
But already, this is a classic George and Angie setup. Of course, he immediately starts to panic because he realizes one thing. After Benny basically calls him out for what he possibly may have written,
Why don't we make this a drinking game? We'll do a shot every single time George used the word dude.
George realizes that perhaps what he wrote so long ago might not be as romantic and he doesn't want to look dumb.
You remember what you wrote? I said I wanted to bend her like a pretzel.
So he begins to plot in a way to get the letters and change them.
We're putting a ceiling fan in the bedroom.
I've been asking for a fan in the bedroom for 15 years.
With the help of his faithful sidekick, George ends up finding the letters. Of course, it takes a very big excuse to keep Angie distracted because George tells her that he's gonna finally install a ceiling fan, something that apparently Angie's been asking for years. George is willing to do things that Angie's been asking for years just because he can get an opportunity to plot something.
Got him. Make it sound like we're working.
So he begins to read the letter and he realizes that it's absolutely nothing that he wants Angie to read because it doesn't make sense.
Sorry I coughed in your ear, but your butt is smoking.
This is a funny part because George ends up asking Ernie for some advice because he can't come up with how he feels about his wife.
I gotta rewrite this. What are you gonna say? Something from way down deep, how I really feel about Angie.
And so, hey, the next best idea is to ask your best friend to give you some advice on how to speak to your wife.
You got anything?
You are unspoiled perfection.
Of course, Ernie knocks it right out of the field, and dude, Ernie has a way with words right here, my man. After George rewrites his letter, though, he makes a mistake of reading Angie's letter too.
Since you're reading this, you already know what I did and you found a way to forgive me.
Now, Angie's letter is kind of suspicious that George begins to spiral almost immediately. I mean, what could it be? Could it have been an affair? Could it have been something worse?
What else could it mean? She cheated on me.
Now, to be fair, this is how the letter's written. I mean, there's really no explanation. It's very vague. So George's brain is immediately going to jump to, oh my goodness, this girl betrayed me. She cheated on me. But also, why are you reading the letters when she literally told you not to, right? So now George begins to plot even further based on his plot that already failed. He wants to get Angie to confess to this before they read the letters out loud. And let's be honest here. Why wouldn't you just wait till the anniversary and have her read the letter so that it can just come out right then and there? So the anniversary comes on, and George decides that he is going to give Angie yet one more gift: complete, total honesty.
I was thinking the most wonderful gift we could give each other for our anniversary is complete honesty. I want us to tell each other everything and clean the slate.
Basically, just a whole way to clean the slate, be real, and just start fresh. As you guys know, he's not doing it because he wants a healthy marriage. He just wants to start fishing. He wants to see what he can get out of Angie.
I've been asking for this for years. Why now?
I don't know. It's perplexing, isn't it?
So, of course, they're going to start going back and forth.
I stole these flowers from the cemetery.
And again.
Whenever I run out of minutes on my phone, I use your phone so it looks like you're the one going over. Then I nag you about it.
And again.
When you dance at parties, you embarrass me and your people.
Then George finally pushes Angie to come out with the real bomb.
My dad put $20,000 in a bank account in case I ever wanted to leave you.
Leave me for who?
So now we find out that Vic didn't believe in a marriage, but I mean, Vic has always been pretty open about it. It just seems crazy that he got to this point. And so basically, the money is just in case Angie ever came to her senses and wanted to leave George.
My dad thought our marriage was a mistake, and he wanted me to have the money just in case I came to my senses. And I never did, honey.
And see, this is not money for like, hey, if you're ever in danger, I need you to stay safe. No, this is literally, hey, you married beneath you. You can do better. Here's the money in case you ever realize that. The worst part about this is that Angie never tells George. She basically just hid it and kept that little booklet somewhere stashed. At first, Angie just basically tries to explain it like, hey, that money has always been in the account. I've never touched it. I never did anything with it. And so George asks Angie one important question.
So, how long after we were married did you close the account?
Let me make a call.
This is honestly the part that hits because George already dealt with a lot of trust issues, a lot of abandonment issues. Getting this from the woman that is supposed to be loyal, faithful to you, honor, respect you, till death do you part, speaks a lot, especially finding this out on your anniversary.
The account is still open? Okay, wait a minute. So the whole time we've been married, you thought there was a chance we wouldn't make it?
The sad thing is, George was about to let it go until he finds out that Angie still had that account open. George ends up finding the checkbook for this account, and he realizes that Angie actually took the money out for 2 days.
You took the money out in 93.
But I put it all back the next day.
Wait a minute, that means you left me.
Of course, putting it back on the second day. Now, you will not believe what Angie's excuse is, and honestly, this is hypocrisy at its lowest.
I did leave. But only because you said the most horrible thing to me ever.
So basically, George and Angie are struggling with their bills. George tells Angie that Benny is going to move in. This literally flips the whole 3 episodes that we just went over on its head because George had to put up with it. George is the one that grew up with Benny, and he still understood, hey, look, I'm going to put myself through this because she's going to help us with the bills, and we want to make sure that, we don't end up getting kicked out. The kids are okay. But Angie had another idea on her mind.
If she moves in, I move out.
Yeah, right.
We'll leave, George. And I'll take the kids.
Is that a threat or are you sweetening the deal?
And it's really a full circle moment because how are you going to say you can't stand the idea of living with Benny, but then years later, you don't even care what your husband thinks? You want to stick your neck out for her so hard.
You gave up on our marriage.
No, couldn't stand the idea of living with your mom.
Now it gets even worse because we come to find out that it was Benny who changed the letters. She literally wrote a fake letter and replaced Angie's.
Forged Angie's letter to screw with you guys.
This is honestly expected. I mean, this doesn't really affect any type of new energy that Benny's creating because this is something Benny would do. But for Angie, dude, you literally stuck out for this woman and she caused a huge drama on your anniversary and you're going to be okay with it in a few days.
I found the letters in your room. I knew you would get curious and read Angie's letters, so I wrote a fake one and switched them.
George and Angie should have absolutely just kicked Benny out of the life and just been done with her. Of course, Benny's reasoning for doing this is not too crazy. It's literally just because she was bored.
Why would you do that?
I was bored.
Then we end up wrapping up the episode with Angie thinking it's justifiable for her to be upset at George just because he opened up the letters 2 hours before. It's like, dude, you're here, George is up here. Like, he's for once the bigger person.
Too bad way back then I wasn't the mother of your children. We didn't have kids yet.
And thus concludes our 4 episode series. I kind of want to put these all together for you guys to enjoy in one run. Let me know if you guys want me to do that. Thank you all so much for the support. I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.
Explain that.